Okay, so just rapid round right now before we wrap up. I wish this panel could go on for another half hour. I have so many questions. Um, I guess the question is our leverage. I really think that the progressive left, there's a lot of power, there's a lot of energy, but where is our leverage now, Bhaskar?
Well, I think that I know this is a very predictable answer from a socialist, and especially for people who know my work. But I think that our leverage is still largely in our workplaces.
Yeah.
And that's such an important element that we shouldn't underestimate. Even organized labor, which of course is only 8, 9% of the population, is still the largest single progressive bloc in the country, and it has the most strategic weight.
Mm-hmm.
10,000 longshore workers on the West Coast can shut down the nation's economy behind demands.
Right.
We've seen when it comes to even retail workers, just 1.3 million retail workers were able to bring about restrictions from places like Target to even non-union shops like Walmart, mass restrictions and other things that have saved lives of not only retail workers but customers as well. And I think getting organized labor behind more insurgent candidates, getting those activists really involved with struggles like Medicare for All. I think the Postal Workers Union is a great example, APWU, of a union that backed Bernie, backed Medicare for All, backed that agenda, but is also able to really galvanize its members behind both shop floor interests, but these broader social causes as well. I think that's a really important spot for us to break off organized labor from establishment Democrats and to say that, listen, even if you're not 100% behind our program, the only way you get anything is if you have a credible exit option. And in the US political system, it's probably not going to be a third party. So what it is, though, is this new round of anti-establishment primary challenges. So at the very least, even if they're staying neutral in a race, they'll be able to exert more power and leverage and get behind this unified agenda that I think 60% of the country, we can imagine, even in places like the Southwest and others that don't really have deep footholds for progressive politics, can get behind fair trade, Medicare for all, jobs, and good funding for education and childcare. I mean, these are things that can be the bread and butter of a program that wins over a majority in this country. And we need to be really ambitious, even though it's going to take 5-10 years to probably get there.
Great. Nabilah, leverage.
Leverage. So I think all politics is local. What I've seen in Georgia especially is that the progressive movement is it's growing at the local level. Our voices are being heard more and more. And I feel that, our elected officials are listening. And so not only that, we're seeing more candidates at the local level, putting themselves, at the table to run for office. So I think it's very important that we continue to have our voices heard on the campaign trail, making sure that we're, constantly, being on, in the media, talking about what's important to us, what the policies that we need to actually uplift our communities. And so I think it's so important that we continue to run for office, not just at the federal level, but the state and the local level, and grow, continue to grow our voices from there.
Great. Thank you guys so much, Bhaskar Sunkara, Nabilah Islam. You're a joy. I'd love to have you back on soon.